Well, this is going to be a bit different. What's up everybody, StevDeS here, and welcome to another edition of Dragon Ball Days. This was originally going to be Goten Being Born First Part 6, but Mr. Lightro Storm contacted me with an offer that I cannot refuse. He had come up with a script that we were going to do a collab on some time ago and threw it on me just before I was going to finish the thumbnail for the Goten one. So, here we go with What If Krillin Loved... Wait, what is this? What is this? Hold on. What if Future 18 loved Krillin? But she didn't. As we know, in the original timeline, she didn't even bother to get to know any of the Z Warriors, so... why is this part 2? Well, the answer to that is that Lightro has done part 1 over on his channel, link in the description, so that you can catch that and be filled in as to everything that's gone on up to this point. As for those coming over from Lightro's part 1, welcome to the StevDeS channel where we're going to be discussing what if Future 18 loved Krillin. We all love that bald head of his. Now, Lightro had left off as the Romeo and Juliet of this world. Krillin and 18 had their meeting, with 17 lurking and witnessing the two together. After seeing 17 lurking nearby, Krillin uses a solar flare and gets out of there, knowing well that if he stayed, he'd probably die. Unfortunately, this blinded 18 as well, but Krillin was not gone yet. He took a similar position to 17. Here, 17 confronts his sister, seeing her as more of a traitor. If she didn't want to go through with the destroying the world thing, then he's gonna have to stop her. And he's gonna have to kill the one that made her do this. After Krillin witnesses this, he flies back to Capsule Corp quickly and quietly in order to get Gohan, who at the time is training. After Krillin had told him the situation, Gohan eagerly flies with Krillin to stop the situation and put an end to 17. Now, Toriyama does have an answer for this, as far as what's happening when Krillin and Gohan are on their way. 17 and 18, they start fighting. This guide ends up telling you that 18 is just slightly weaker than 17, so she would be more on a defensive stance in order to prolong the battle and maybe make a way out. But, you know, it would be relatively close between the two. As they fight it out, Krillin and Gohan would arrive on the scene and 2 Destructo Discs are launched, cutting off 17 from battling his sister further. The two then charge in. Gohan and Krillin, with Gohan turning Super Saiyan, are enough of a distraction to kind of separate the battle a bit. After a good flurry of blows, they separate from 17 and the battle stops for a moment. 18 was put in the middle, with Gohan and Krillin on one end and 17 on the other. Both Krillin and 17 take the time to plead their cases now. Come on, sis. It's not like destruction wasn't that fun. Remember the time we spent together, 18? It can be better! Join me and Gohan! Why don't you come on over and be my sister again? We can have a lot of fun. It doesn't have to be non-stop destruction all the time! She took a bit because this is a nature versus nurture situation. So, who's gonna win this? Well, Krillin. 18 floats over to Krillin and Gohan, glaring daggers at 17. She's made her choice, and 17 happily accepts this challenge, knowing the other two aren't much, and he knows he's more powerful than 18. With a 3-on-1 battle, 17 and 18 were going all out. Gohan and Krillin, Gohan being a Super Saiyan, should be enough to best 17. They do feel positive about this battle regardless of all the buildings being destroyed. After a flurry of blows from the android, 17 knocks 18 down. Krillin takes this opportunity to rush in and try to do some damage, but is slapped away pretty easily. 17 calls his sister a traitor, and 18 responds with just wanting to be happy. With an outstretched hand pointed at the downed Krillin, 17 just utters one word. Just as energy had begun to form in his hand to blow away Krillin, Gohan comes in and slices his arm off. Not with a sword or anything, just his bare hand in the pure rage of a Super Saiyan Grade 2. Being disarmed put 18 in the winner's circle as far as this is concerned. He was about to kill Krillin too, so you know she's going to be attacking with a bit more passion. Just as 18 begins to falter against 17, you know, that heightened emotion starting to fall, and 17 being about even with 18, Gohan comes in with the assist and is promptly blasted the Super Saiyan out of. Krillin grabs Gohan and begins to escape, but 18 is held back by her brother, who by now is a crazed maniac. Krillin then quickly makes a decision to kick 17 aside so that he can leave with 18 and Gohan. In order to ensure an escape, another solar flare is launched so that 17 can't possibly chase them. At Capsule Corp, Bulma gives Gohan a senzu bean and they all decide to talk. Just a bit. With 18's strength not compromised by the loss of an arm, they should have this. They know that either a well-timed Destructo Disc or Gohan going all out with 18 should be able to handle whatever 17 has to throw. They decide to go with that plan, 18 confronting 17 and having two chances at a Destructo Disc, one from Krillin and one from Gohan. Just before the fight starts, Krillin launches the Destructo Disc and it misses. It's Krillin's Destructo Disc, what do you expect? However, just as 17 goes after Krillin, Gohan lines it up and slices 17 in half with his Destructo Disc. After the deed's done, and the pleading 17 is blasted to ash thanks to Krillin and Gohan, the android threat is gone. 18 lays low at Capsule Corp for a while as they plan on whatever they're gonna do in this timeline. I mean, they can't exactly let 18 be free on the street. She's one of the people that caused a lot of the destruction. By this point, it had only been about a year since the androids show up, so reviving people is entirely possible. Now that the world was free to rebuild, Bulma spearheaded the government in this fashion. Capsule Corp would be the pioneers of the new Earth. And also, she would scrap the time machine and focus more on space travel, because if they can find new Namek, they can fix a lot of things a lot quicker. Since it's only been a year, things aren't really as scarce as they were in canon, and Gohan and Krillin end up being pretty useful when it comes down to gathering materials and stuff like that. Which, he wouldn't be at Capsule Corp all the time. He could finally reunite with his mother, and his mother would be very, very happy to see him again. It would be a cute family scene. In fact, Krillin and 18 would be living at Capsule Corp for a while. Krillin wouldn't go back to Kame House. Maybe he would. Maybe for visits in the middle of the night, but for the most part, they do stay at Capsule Corp and assist Bulma, which they end up getting married in that time as well. Over the next year or so, Bulma's drone that she had sent out would be looking for new Namek, so they wouldn't be without a plan here. Krillin would also spend time training Trunks once he became of age. You know, he's a master of himself. Besides, they proved how useful a kid Super Saiyan would be against Android 17, so okay, maybe this Trunks will be better for it. Years passed until eventually Bulma had found new Namek. The drone had come back, gotten the data, and the group would take off to try to use the Namekian Dragon Balls to revive some of their friends. Since they helped them once before, I don't see the Namekians actually put up an argument against Earth's defenses on account of, well, Frieza was a thing. One unspoken rule comes into play here. After Frieza's threat and Mori ends up being the new Elder, the dragon is upgraded. Not one person alone can be wished. You can wish for multiple people with these Dragon Balls. The first two wishes would be used to resurrect everyone on Earth that was capable of being resurrected, and to rebuild everything destroyed by the androids. As Bulma's about to request the wish to teleport back to Earth, Krillin would say that, well, people still know that 18 is an android. That's kind of an issue. Hey guys, Future Stev here. When recording that part, I thought, this might be better. But I ran it by Lightro, just to be sure, and he said no, and there's a good reason for that. You see, Bulma is a government official in this timeline. She can make those crimes just go away. Powder on the shoulder, just wipe it off. So there really isn't a need for the dragon to make a wish of that magnitude. Instead, they use the wish to teleport back to Earth, and then past Stev is going to come up here and do that. Even though I'm technically past Stev after this point in the video. And then this point in the video. No, at this point. You can never exist in the present. They would take off back to Earth where they would meet up with Piccolo, Chaozu, Yamcha, Tien. The Z-Warriors would be back in action. Tien and Chaozu make their dojo like we see in Super. Yamcha and Bulma get together, which... you know what? That relationship is up to interpretation. Piccolo lives alone, as usual. And when it comes down to it, Gohan visits him every now and then for training. Trunks has Krillin as a master, and 18 is able to roam free with Krillin anytime she wants to go to a restaurant, have dates, have a life, and Marin would be born eventually. The manga states that some of the Z fighters, specifically future Trunks, ends up training under the Supreme Kai before Babidi and Deborah ends up coming forward. So, Trunks and Gohan both training under the Supreme Kai in preparation for that. Yeah, the Buu saga in the future ought to be a quick one. After Babidi, they would all just live peacefully. Beerus wouldn't wake up because, well, in canon, he doesn't. And since the time machine wasn't made, Zamasu can't get another Goku, so that plan doesn't go that direction. And so that would conclude this What If. No Goku means no Tournament of Power either. And no Universe 6 tournament. So, the future saga just ends up peacefully. And so, we wrap up What If Future 18 loved Krillin. Oh, love did make... Why didn't this come out during Valentine's Day? Everything comes up roses! For more What Ifs in the realm of video gaming and Dragon Ball alike, such as if Krillin was more of a female persuasion, or, like that video I voice acted over on Lightro Storm's channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Oh, and leave a comment below. I've done that for a while. That feels good. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.